Today I am joined by Mayor David Phillips, and he is the mayor of Tilton. We want to thank you for joining us as we continue to look at the issues that are affecting your community, and we are talking to your leaders to see what they're doing to address these issues. Mayor Phillips, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very much.
So let me start off by asking you, what are the three biggest issues that the village of Tilton now faces, and then we will discuss what is being done to address them.
The three biggest issues facing us today would be the sewer system and the fire protection system, and keep drawing businesses to our community.
All right, so let's look at them individually. Tell me about the sewer system. What's the issue? What's the problem with the sewer system?
It's been overrun with groundwater or influence water, and I've worked here since 1977, so it's been that long that we've faced these flooding troubles in the sewer system, and we've done a couple minor adjustments since I've been here, different pump stations, still not helping. So we in turn is getting a loan from the EPA. It's about a $22 million loan, and it's got 45% forgiveness. So we're gonna have to pay back about $9 million. So it's a golden opportunity to try to grab some of that money now. And it would be basically building a whole new sewer plant. And the sewer plant was built in the 1958, and I think they got it online in the early 60s. And then the system was put in the 60s. And when I went into the archive files and looked at the infiltration, and they had like 39 houses hooked up to the system already, and they had 400% infiltration of water already. So this has been in the 60s already. So this is the problem we've been facing. So we've hired Fair and Graham, which is the engineer service out of Champaign, and we got a system design. We're almost pretty close to being 100% design ready to go out for bids in May. And the system would be some bigger pumps and pump stations and a couple of different locations, and transporting the water to a new sewer plant, and basically adding capacity to that sewer plant. We can treat about 1.5 million gallons of water now, but when we have an infiltration of a 2 or 3 inch rainfall and the infiltration in them water pipes, that could easily escalate to 5 billion gallons of water.
So just to reiterate, you applied for the grant and that grant was approved?
Yeah, well, it's not, yeah, we're not approved yet, but we're getting close.
Could you say how far are you in that process as we speak?
We're hoping in the governor's budget in the fiscal year in July. That's when the budget starts in the state of Illinois. We're hoping to get that pool of money in after July 1st. So that between July 1st and 7th, when the state of Illinois' new budget comes out.
And if or when that grant is approved and you build that new system, what effect will it have on the citizens of Tilton?
Well, we're hoping the effect would be not having flooding in their basements no more. We've had to clean some messes up in people's basements, had to hire people to do it. And then the biggest concern would be to make sure to get all the water treated at the sewer plant before it's discharged. And that's a big concern of ours too, because we don't want to be an environmental hazard. And
will this also means that in order for you to pay back that half of the loan that is not forgiven, will that means an increase in water rates? And if so, by how much are you estimating now?
We're figuring it's going to be increasing to the residents to somewhere between probably $53 and $27.
And what is the present rate now?
It's about average is $25 a month right now.
So possibility lies then that resident might see a doubling of their water rate.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And based on discussions that you would have had, because I'm sure you would have had public meetings on.
Yes, we did. We had several public meetings. It started 2 years ago, actually. We was offered to sell the sewer plant. We had a public meeting about that, and the public did not want to sell the sewer plant. They wanted us to keep control of this because we have control of our own financing, plus we can raise the rates as needed, and they're figuring a big company might just raise them not fix anything.
So what is the feedback then that you are getting from the resident with this route that you're going, knowing that they might be paying double what they're paying now?
Biggest feedback was fixed income for the seniors, citizens, and we're hoping we're going to be addressed that. So I mean, it may not be as high, but you'd hate to say to have it lowered, but it's ended up being that high. So I'm projecting maybe a little high, so I hope we are. So
you're saying that for senior citizens, their rate might be fixed?
Yes.
That's okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's see how fast you can get that up to may have some solution.
When we get done with the grant money and all, if we get it, it'll be a 2-year project. So it's going to take 2 years to build a sewer plant, more or less, by the time they get done.
Based on where you're at now, what is your projected time to get that up and running?
I'd say it's going to be in 2022 in the spring.
All right, let's look at the next issue, which is the volunteers for the fire service.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Well, you know, I was a volunteer fireman. I was a fire chief at one time before I became the mayor. Mm-hmm. And I think there's been a whole downtrend of volunteering because of the workforce. Basically, you know, everybody has to have 2 jobs, and we pay on call. And that's not a lot of money, but we still pay them for on call. And I think the biggest thing is people have 2 jobs and they can't volunteer anymore, and we're desperate, just like the whole state is. I think the whole state and the county is in the same issue.
Exactly. This is an issue that the entire state or county is trying to solve right now. So I want to know from your point of view here in Tilton, what are you doing to attract persons to volunteer for the fire service?
We have a bigger volunteer service for the ambulance service because they're paid basically. You know, we pay them 12-hour shifts at nighttime and then on call during the day. And we haven't really accommodated that to the fire service yet, but you know, it's almost going to take a property tax to do that, to start paying benefits and have paid fire service. That's what we don't want to do, because this keeps the property taxes off and draws business to the community when you don't have to pay property tax. And that's going to be the last ditch effort. So we're basically trying to get recruitments now. And I know it's very difficult to do that, because they have to be trained at the same level as a paid fire service. So it takes a long time to get them trained. And then if they get a job, and if they gone, I mean, if they leave to paid fire department, you lose that guy again, so you got to start all over again.
What are you looking at then in order to attract persons? Is there any incentive, whether it's be by training?
We pay for all their training. So, I mean, that's paid for by the city. Us and Danville, the city just north of us, which is the city of Danville, we're the only 2 actual cities that have fire protection. Everybody else has a fire district. So it's not on the city's budget like it is ours and Danville's. We have to budget for fire protection.
I know some cities are looking at cadets in high schools or stuff, training them so they can be volunteer. Are you?
We've been sending that out to do that, and We have a couple, we have a Scout Explorer post now, and we got a couple members on that, and they're training to be firefighters. But I'm just thinking the generation went haywire because everybody has to have a job, and a lot of people sent their kids to college, and now they're gone from here, and there's none of the young people really want to volunteer anymore. Plus, you kind of figure what the world's shape is in right now, and they're shooting at firefighters and everything else, so you know, a lot of people don't want to do it.
That looks like a major challenge that you have. So I am giving you the opportunity to use this medium now to appeal to persons.
We need volunteers, firemen. We'll train you. You can stop by the fire station on Wednesday nights at 6 o'clock and fill an application, and we'll hope we'll succeed from that point on.
For persons who volunteer to be firefighters, is there any benefit whatsoever for them?
The benefits to help the community and keep from putting property tax on and get from a paid fire service.
Okay.
Because it's going to be expensive to residents if you had to put a paid fire service in.
As we speak, how many volunteer firefighters do you have?
We have about 15 right now.
Okay.
So, and that's, some days it's better, but I mean, it used to be a struggle manning fire trucks during the day because everybody worked during the day. But now it's that point 24 hours a day.
How is it affecting the village whenever like there's a fire and for call? Is it in terms of the call time, response time?
Well, the response time could be 4 to 5 minutes, and you like to have that at 2. Fire double sides every minute. And the other thing, you're relying on other departments. So we used to have a mutual aid agreement with Lynch Fire Protection, was just east of here. And now we have Lynch on board, and we have Catlin on board, and we have Westmore on board to automatically respond on any calls we get. Mm-hmm. And that's just a fact because short of manpower. So with that agreement, you would say that the city is in a safe place whenever there is an incident that need that type of response? Yes, yes. We're not trying to create unsafe, and the city board and myself is at the point that we don't want to become unsafe. And if it does, then we're going to have to react to getting a paid service.
The next thing that you mentioned earlier was bringing in business here in the village of Tilton. Why would somebody who thinking about setting up a business, why should they come to Tilton?
Well, we got a couple reasons. One, we have 74. And we also have Illinois Route 1, which is the main thoroughfare through town basically now. And it has about 29,000 cars every 24 hours on it. And the other big thing would be the village itself has no property tax. And we have several TIP districts drawn in that area on Route 1 to give TIP incentives, which is a tax rebate. And so it's a challenge, and it's a challenge right now in the whole state to try to get businesses in Illinois. So
you're saying to businesses that Tilton would be a good place for you to come and set up because you don't have to pay any property taxes, and there is a huge or a large number of traffic that pass.
That's correct. Every 24 hours, Illinois Route 1 has 29,000 cars every 24 hours on it. Okay. So, and that's a large volume of traffic that, of course, the police department deals with it too. So I mean, it's a large volume of traffic. It's really close, the same as 74 produces.
As we are on the topic of revenue, just January, the state allows marijuana to be legal here in Illinois. What's the decision on that here in Tilton?
Well, right now it's nothing because we don't have a dispensary or a grow facility. We do have the ordinance in process to accommodate them right now, and so some of that's going to be voted on. Now the county, the city of Danville has the grow facility basically on the agenda tonight, and they already have a dispensary, but it's not open right now. So the economy here at Danville is all running to Champaign right now to get their cannabis. So we need to get that turned around.
So you're saying that once there is a dispensary, you are thinking are voting for a yes in terms of getting that 3% taxes?
That's right, because that 3% tax would offset the sewer costs to the individuals right now.
You mentioned Danville, which is like your next door neighbor.
Yes.
And one of the issues that they faces right now is crime in terms of shooting especially. What effect does that have here in Tilton? Are you seeing anything like that happening over here?
We're not having it yet, and we hope it don't happen, but it affects the whole county. It not just affects the city of Danville, it affects the whole county, because the city of Danville is looked upon the crime-ridden city, and it's really not. It's just neighborhoods, basically. It's not a crime-ridden city. It's just neighborhood deals. And I think they're getting better right now, the city is. And the problem is it's city ordinance violators and kind of cleaning your yards up. So that ends up out of here, they push it here, and then we end up pushing it back. So it's just back and forth. You know, we write them citations, they end up going back to Danville. They write them, they end up coming back here, renters. So now we're getting ready to make a landlord responsibility act and try to detail some of this renter stuff.
Are you seeing any crime here in Tilton though?
I think the biggest part of our crime that's coming out of the city is probably retail thefts at county markets and stuff like that. But I mean, we're not having no big increase in armed robberies or home invasions or nothing like that. It's just basically minor offenses and retail theft.
All right, so in other words, then you would say that the village of Tilton is pretty safe?
Yes, yes it is.
Okay. All right, I think I have covered everything that I think I want to cover.
We appreciate it. We're here trying to help people, and that's what we're trying to do, and we're trying to make sure we can get some volunteers in the fire service. So.
Okay, so let's hope that your persons will hear your appeal and really turn up and join the fire service.
Thank you very much for coming. We appreciate it. I'm a Channel 3 guy, so.
All right, Mayor. Thank you so much, man. All right.
Thank you very much.